you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Just loading.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. So, a couple of questions on yesterday's topics. So, can you tell me what is an informat?
Informat is like
Yes, anybody. Go ahead.
uh,
Okay, Anusha, go ahead.
I'm like thinking.
It's describing a particular different sign of characters to print.
Uh,
Not exactly, but some,
okay. Yeah, somewhere around that. What is
it,
it used for?
it is like no, I cannot say. Sorry.
Don't worry. You can give me an example and explain. When do you use it?
Uh, to print as signed characters like dollar symbols or whatever. And,
In
Ah,
numerics without
yeah.
changing the value.
So the thing is, informat is used to read non-standard numeric values. So basically, it is used to read non-standard data. So what is a non-standard data? See, in SAS we have only two data types, right?
Mm-hmm.
One
Mm-hmm.
is character, other is numeric. Correct. So is
Mm-hmm.
there certain cases where the numeric values will have special characters, like a date value or like a currency value. Correct. So in order to read the values which are non-standard numeric values, like the ones which have certain special characters within them, we use in format. Okay. So what do we use format for?
Proper visualization. I mean, you know.
Mhm.
Yes.
So to read the values in whatever format we want. So
Yeah.
if you want to have like you want to see the currency values onto your on some of your numeric data like salary or price or something, then you can use it. Basically, it will format the data in the desired shape for the user to read it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's about informat and format. Okay, and where do we use VARNUM?
Varnum is to
In
displaying
which
uh,
procedure do we use it?
when what is that test when generating reports. Varnum displays
Huh?
two kinds of tables. One is numerical order and one is alphabetical order.
Okay. Sai,
can you just repeat the question once?
what is the use of VARNUM
Uh,
option?
Varnum, where we use both variables and I mean,
Oh no no
First
no.
of all, in which procedure is it used? First of all, run through your notes. No problem. You just scroll up your screen.
Uh,
Run through.
can I say it's for proc step? It is used in the proc step
Yeah,
instead of
which proc step? Which
alphabetical
proc step?
proc print instead of
No, it's used in
mm,
proc contents.
proc content. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And it displays in the numerical order, not in the alphabetical order.
Yeah. So rather, it displays the list of variables in the order of creation. That is the way they appear in your
Okay.
data set. Right?
Yeah.
They random displays the list of variables in a proc contents in the order of creation. That is the way they appear in a data set. Correct? Whereas a position option is again used in proc contents, but it will display it in both orders of creation as well as alphabetic order. Right? So that was a little what we did, and then we started with Proc import. We have seen how do we import a CSV or a Excel file using Proc import, and then we started with in file statement, wherein we are trying to read different types of text files. So broadly, there are two types of text files, categories of them. What are they?
Uh, Delimited and some other one.
fixed.
I
Yeah,
mean, exact
fixed
opposite of
width,
it.
fixed width. Yeah. So we have seen yesterday as to how do we read, a file like this, that is test2.txt we saw. So this is a fixed width file,
Mhm.
correct? So, and I just asked you to try using test3.txt. Were you able to do that?
Um, It
I
is
was not
showing.
able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it is some error. I can
Yeah,
show you.
I
Yeah, can
think.
you just share your code, just share your screen with me. I'll just open the file in the meantime. Okay,
You can see my screen, right?
so one second, I'm just fixing it up.
Okay.
Okay, let me just now look at the screen. Yeah, okay, file test3. Okay. Well, are you sure that these values are right? The size, the width
Uh,
is right, 7 dot
yes,
6 dot, is it right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, semi-con. Sai, let me see yours. Yours also looks similar.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the error? Can you show me your log window?
Yes. Just a second. Insufficient authorization.
Uh,
Actually, it's not the error. Why in the output is not in the correct format.
okay.
See,
Can you just show
and
me the output? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. In
I
your
can get.
case, your output is not in the desired format. In this case, Anusha, what is the problem? It's not letting you read this file. Whereas, Sai, show me your code.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so not to worry, I'll help you with it. So most of it is right. So first of all, let's just open this file, text file. Let me just change my screen share settings. Mm, okay. Can you see this file here? So there's a first name, last name, ID, and let's say it's salary.
I
Okay.
cannot see.
Can you
Okay,
see it?
yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Now it.
So first name, last name, ID, and salary. So first name, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Then there are two spaces. After that there is 1, 2, 3. One space and then the rest of it. Right? So let's just try and write a code for this. I'll just write as text underscore file 2. Okay? And then I write my in file. So my in file is going to be the same. The path is the same except that this test3. So make it as test3, right? And input. So now I list out my variables. I have first name, last name, ID, uh, serial ID, and then let's say salary. So out of this, first of all, my first name is character, last name is character, and these both are numeric, right? So let's say we use plus pointer. So the first name is what? 7 dot. And then we move 1 plus 1 pointer. And then last name is what? How many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Fine.
Correct? So I say 5. Uh, but then after that there are two spaces. So I do plus 2 for the ID. And then there are 3 characters. And then there's plus 1, and then there is salary, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are only 9 characters, right? So I can just give 9 dot. But the problem here is, can you see this last value, that is salary, it has got special characters in it, right? So it is not a pure number. It has got a period and a comma separator. So what should we do in this case? Yes, we have to use an Informat. So here we don't have to explicitly write Informat statement, but here along with this only we can write. So it's a comma Informat. So I say comma 9 dot. Is that okay? So if you write comma 9 dot only, you'll be able to import. So let's just see if this works. Yeah, so here I have, so if you see in my file, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 observations. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 observations and 4 variables. Am I right?
Yeah, previously I have tried this comma with Informat, but I have not got any correct answer. I mean, the output
Yeah,
is not.
I think you would have tried a informat statement, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but you, if when you write it along with this, it'll be easier and you will get it. You can try this code and see, Anusha, I think in your case, don't copy the same path as it is. Go to this particular file, right click, go to properties and copy. Don't copy it from my screen.
I did it.
Try that.
I did that only. I'll try once again.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So path will differ. So just try it now.
Can you show me your result window, please, and the output?
Sure. Here output window.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hmm.
can you see mine?
Okay, let me just take a look.
See the
Uh,
output. The third one is dot again.
okay, come back to your code. See here, the
Yeah,
problem is with the size that you are assigning. Go back to your code. So, one second. Okay, so here it is. We just give a space between the plus one and the variable name. Plus one, plus two, and the variable name. Like everywhere. ID number. First name dollar. Last name dollar. 5 dot plus 2, comma 9 dot. So just try it again. Mm, no. Okay, go back to your code.
I think this is 3 1 test 3.
Comma 9 dot. Right? Open the text 3. Okay, sorry. See,
Yeah,
your
let me.
test 3 file only, no?
Oh, no, I was just correcting that now. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay, okay, fine. So, Anusha, did you get it?
Yes, yes, I got it.
Okay. But now if you see, like in your source file, there is this comma separator.
Yeah.
But in your destination file, it is not there. So what should you do for that? If you want to view it in a certain fashion, what option do we use? What statement do we use? We use a format,
Format. Huh?
right? So just write format after your uh, input statement, write the variable name and just say comma 9.2. In this case, write 9.2. I will tell you why. So now when you run it, you will see you got a comma separator as well.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
done. Can you tell me why is it 9.2?
Uh,
Space is
comma after
increasing,
two.
I
No,
think.
no.
Yeah, no, there is a decimal value, right? So
Okay.
there is 29,996.63. There are certain decimal values. So 9 is the total length and zero point 0.2 is for the decimal position.
Oh,
Okay. So if you just write only 9, what will happen? Can you try that example? Just
yes.
9 dot, remove the 2 after that. See what's the difference.
Yeah, there are no decimal points.
Exactly. So that time it will not show you decimal point. So when you say 9.2, it will be using decimal values also. Okay. So now can you open a test file 3_1? Yeah. So what is the difference between this file and the earlier file? Is there any
We don't
difference?
have a decimal in the
Yeah, so for one particular value, we don't have a decimal value, right? Okay, so can you just, so basically it will be the same code, right? Logically it will be the same code. Can you just use the same code for that data set and see, for that file and import it? So here, I'll just make this as file 3 and this will be 3_1. Alright, is it working? Just execute it and let me know.
I can't get the one without the decimal.
Okay, so basically your import is not working properly. So I can't see your screen, sorry. Yeah, I can see it now. Show me the result window.
Want to see the output?
Yeah. Yeah, so it is not reading it properly, right? The reason is that there is a different length to it. I'll just explain what will happen. So when it comes here to this line, right, it will read the 7 characters here, right? It will come to 7, it will read the first name, it will move one position, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These number of values it will read as last second name. It will move 2 positions, 1, 2, 3, it will read as ID, correct? And it will move one more position and it will read 9. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
Can you see? There is no extra spacing that is provided here. Just because there is no decimal value and it tries to read 9 positions, it will go to the next line. So there is a conflict. There are character values here and it can't push that into a comma format. So there will be an error in reading it. Understand what the problem is?
Yes.
So what should we do in this case? What we can do is we can use an option called as pad. Just write pad in your inside statement. So what a pad option does, pad option is an extra spaces in the required place. Yeah. So what this pad does is, in case if there are no 9 characters here, then it will fill in extra spaces. It will not go to the next line, and it will read it properly. Just try this now. Okay, with the pad option, let's try it. So now you see 0.00 has been added, and it is reading it properly. Now, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So before we go ahead, we'll just do one topic which is called as a file name, which is quite it will be quite useful for us here. So what we are doing now in the in file is we are writing this lengthy path everywhere. Correct. So we are dealing with all the files which are there in this particular folder. Am I right? So in case we don't want to write such a lengthy path each and every time, we can just create a file name statement once, wherein it will create an alias name to this particular path,
Okay.
which is the common path to the folder. And then we can just keep changing the file name accordingly. Right? So how do we use that file name statement? File name, right? So this is again similar to writing your libname statement, but the use is different. In file name, it will just create an alias name. It will give a synonymous name to this path. Okay, so let's just say that we want to give the file name as txt file. Okay, and here we specify the path. So the path is this. Yeah. So this is just a simple file name statement. So this is again the file name statement. File name is a keyword. The text file is a reference name, like the library reference name. You can give any name. You can just give ABC also, right? This is the name that you give, and this is the path. So what this does is, wherever you want to use this path, instead of using this, you can just use this keyword text file. So when you say text file, it is going to refer to this path. Is that clear? So let's just run this and let's see if we can use this. So you will see it will just give that file name so and so line has been executed. You will not be able to cross check it. The only way to cross check it is using it in a code. So let's just use the same code here, but in this case we will specify text file, txt file, and in brackets I just give this in quotes because this is the one which will keep changing. This is the file name which will keep changing, right? So this is uh, the file reference name. So I'll just execute this code. Let me see. Let's make it as _1. Yeah. So file3_1. It has read properly. So when you do this, like going ahead, I don't have to keep writing this entire part. I can just write this simple short file reference name. That is the use of file name statement. Right? Assigns a file reference name to the folder path. Yeah. So this is how you can use a file. Okay. So now going ahead, let's open test4 file. You just open this here. Okay, so now test4 file. What type of file is this?
Delimited.
So this is a delimited file, and what is the delimiter here? A space, right? So now let's see how we can import this file. So this is going to be relatively simple. So just copy paste this here, and this is file 4, right? And this we started with delimited files, right? And this is test4.txt. So how many variables and observations are here? Basically, how many variables are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And out of that, how many are character, how many are numeric?
One is character and the rest are.
Yeah. So let's see how it works. So input statement, it's gender, which is a character value. Then there is, let's say, age. Then let's say there is score 1, score 2, score 3, and score 4. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 scores, right? So here, since it's a delimited file, you don't have to specify the length of each one of them. Okay, and by default, the delimiter, what it assumes is a space. So you don't even have to specify the type of delimiter in this case. Okay, so a simple code like this. So doesn't this code look similar to what we did in data lines?
Yes.
Yeah, because we are not specifying any length or anything. We're just giving the variable names and the data type of it. Right? So let's just read this file. Yeah. So here we have gender, age, score 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Correct? So can you just try this code, please, and try creating a file name as well. Is it done?
Mine is loading forever. It's
Oh, I think there's some problem with the, you know. I'll just
yeah.
try and cancel it.
Mm, How can I cancel it?
Just go to your left hand side corner.
Oh, I got it now.
Yeah, you got it? Fine.
Yeah, I got it.
So, Sai, you got it?
Yeah, I was getting an error.
Yeah, come back to your code. File name. Okay, have you executed the file name statement?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, the thing is, see, in your in file you're using text, whereas your file reference name
Oh,
is
okay, okay.
txt. Just change that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. So let's go ahead. Can you just open the test file 5?
Open the test
What type
file.
of file? Yeah, what type of file is 5? Can you see on the screen?
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
a
like
delimited.
It's a delimited file, and what is the delimiter here?
comma.
Comma.
Comma. So this is again the same data. So can you just try the code yourself? I'll tell you what you should do in your in file. After this part here, you have to just write DLM equal to, just use a comma, the comma symbol. DLM. DLM stands for delimiter. DLM option. Yeah. So please specify the delimiter. So most of it will remain the same. Just change the file name here, and here you have to use DLM equal to, in quotes put a comma. So DLM equal to, in quotes you have a comma. That's it. So if it is like any other delimiter, like a slash, hyphen, or any type of delimiter, you can specify that in your DLM option. So DLM equal to, specify whatever is the type of delimiter.
I got an error. It says invalid option name.
Okay. Option. Okay, there's a comma after that also. Just remove that.
Okay, here.
So
Okay.
yeah, so just remove that. That should be fine.
Can you once check my output? Uh,
Sure.
it's showing
No.
only 1.
Yeah, come back to your code. Okay. Okay, you have to change your text, your destination file name. So in test 4, it is space is a delimiter, right?
Yeah.
So make it test5.txt. Yeah, yeah. Should be fine now. Yeah, fine. Okay. So now let's see what we have in test 6 underscore 1. Okay. So now when you look at it, what type of file is this?
Fixed width.
Yeah. So this basically you can assume it is a fixed width or a delimiter also, because space is a delimiter here, since the width of each and every variable is the same,
Okay.
right? So and it's always easier to read a delimited file, right? You don't have to specify the number of the length of
Yeah.
each variable, right? So let's say this is a space delimited file. Can you please try and import this file? So this code will be similar to your test 4.
Can we use pad command here also for delimited files?
Yeah, good question. Pad is used only for delimited for a reason. When you specify the specified length for a particular variable, so let's say 8 characters, and some values are not 8 characters, and there is no extra space also provided.
Yeah.
So to put in those extra spaces, we use pad. So that's a good question. You can't use pad here.
Okay.
But there are certain missing values, right?
Yes, yes.
So in the second observation, we have got only three values for only three variables, and the last three variables are missing values, right? So if you try to import it using the simple code, let's see what happens. Test 6 underscore 1, right? And how many variables are there? IDs 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all are numeric. So let's say ID 1, 2, 3, 4, and X are 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct? So there's totally 6 variables, all are numeric. So what do we do here? So if I just run this code without any options, you will see I'll get the result, but it will be haphazard. See, in my test file I have 1000, 1001, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 observations. Whereas in my result file I have only 4 observations and 1002 is missing here in ID. So what has happened is 1002 has got read into some other variable. Can you see here? So basically there were missing values here. 1, 2, 3 were missing values, but it read it from the next observation.
Yeah.
Right? So so this is a wrong result. This is a result. So what do we do if there are missing values at the end in case of a file like this? Is we use an option called as MISSOVER. MISSOVER used to read missing values at the end of the row. Right? So that's important to know. So let's run this with MISSOVER. So now you see I've got 5 observations, and in wherever there was missing values, I've got a missing value here. So a numeric missing value will be a dot. That's a period. Correct? 3 missing values. Now it is read properly.
I have a question.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
You said it values at the end of the row. What if the values are missed in the beginning?
Beginning or in between, there is some other option. We'll see.
Oh,
That is the next
okay.
one. So MISSOVER is used only for values which are missing at the end of the row.
Mm.
Yeah. So just try this code.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Now you got it, the side.
But my values are missing one. Just a minute. Make sure
Uh-huh.
this. Okay, yeah, I got
Okay, good.
it.
You got it, side?
Got
Yeah, just use a MISSOVER at the end of it. Yeah.
it.
Uh, good.
Already got the output.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's how we use, that's where and how we use a MISSOVER option. So can you open file, test file 7? So 7. So what type of file is this?
Except 1002, everything, all others can be delimited, but in 1002 there are two spaces, I think, after 33.
Yeah, so basically it's a delimited file, but it has got missing values in between.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is again a space delimited by file. There's a single space delimited file, but there's a missing. The second variable here is a missing value,
Mm.
right? And here all values are there. Here this third value is a missing value, So in order to read values which are like missing in between in the row, we use an option called as DSD along with DLM. Okay, DLM we know specifies the delimiter, and DSD stands for uh, delimiter sensitive data. Okay, so how do we read this file? Again, the variables are the same here. We'll just change the file name. Right, so 7. Right. Here we don't have to use MISSOVER, but we have to use DSD, and after that you have to specify the delimiter even if it is space. So usually by default if it is space we don't specify, right? But when you're using DSD, it has to be used along with the DLM option. So DLM, put a space, single space, and quotes. Okay. So used to read missing values in between the row. Yeah. So let's just run this code. Yeah. So if you see here, the first variable value is missing, second value is missing. Here is the value in third variable is missing. The rest of them are populated properly. So these are how you treat missing values: missover option and DSD DLM option. So let's open 7_1. Now 7_1. What type of data is this?
The same as 7,
Okay. Any other difference?
but here more data is missing.
Okay, correct. So can you just try this code on your own? Import 7_1.
Okay.
Try it out.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So can you show me a screen?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. So how many observations?
5.
Yeah, 5 observations. Can you scroll
Yeah.
to the right?
Mm.
Yes. So minimize the screen.
But the name, can you see the variable name SR5? I can see only yes.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just the visualization that's happening. You can use a Proc PRINT to see it
Uh,
clearly. Can
I
you show
took
me
out.
your code?
My code?
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, why have you used missover? Because you're missing values at the end of it also,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you
Yes.
will have to use DSD, DLM and missover both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have used pad. Is it?
Can you show me your result?
Yeah. mm, Got an output.
I can't. Can you show me your output screen? Mm,
Oh, yeah.
okay. So go back to your code and remove that pad option and run it now. Now it is not proper.
Yeah.
It's
Only 4 observations.
1004.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, your pad option is also doing a similar job as missover.
Okay.
It is just padding it up based on the number of variables that you're displaying, right? So, but generally, MISSOVER is the right option to be used in this case. So, _1 DSGDLM, and I use MISSOVER as well. Right? Now, can you open text file 8? That's good job, guys. So, test 8, what type of file is this?
Delimited file.
It is a delimited file, that's right. And what's the type of delimiter here?
Space.
So both space and commas.
No, basically, how many variables are there?
4.
2.
How many variables are there? There are only 2 variables. Yeah, one is name of the city, and the other is the population. Let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. The population values are comma separated, and the city has got a built-in space within it. Okay. Can you just try and import this file? Just try, just give whatever options. So based on whatever little we have learned so far, can you try and do that? So here you will have to use Informat after the last variable name. Informat comma based on whatever number of values, and then a comma 10 dot 12 dot whatever. Just try it out. Do you have any problem? I will help you with it. Should I go?
Okay, cool.
Okay. Try. Okay. Comma length you have to specify, right? Comma 9, 10, whatever.
But okay, how much am I supposed to give your
Just count how
the
many are
length
there.
of the
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. 3 to 6, 7, 8, 9. So just give 9 dots.
Okay. And I think I can give it with this one also.
Yeah.
City space, right?
No, there you can't give it. So just run this code now.
Okay.
So it is not reading it properly because there's an embedded space, right? So, Sai, any luck?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So what do we do in case there is an embedded space within the variable? Right. So what we do is we use an ampersand operator. So let's say data file 8 file file test 8.txt, right? And then input entity, which is a character variable, and then we have population, right, which is a numeric variable, but we need a comma 9 dot. Okay. So, but just by doing this, we can't get, because there is an inbuilt space which is there. Okay. So what we have to do is, in this case, we'll have to specify the maximum length of city. So which value has got the maximum length in city? Is Philadelphia, right? So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Correct. What we have to do is, we have to use an ampersand operator and specify 12 dot here. So by using an ampersand operator and specify the maximum length of it, you will be able to read built-in spaces. Okay, so ampersand operator to read built-in space in a space delimited file. Now variable of a space delimited file, right? So let's run this now and see if this works. Yeah, so now we have all the values populating. But can you see how many observations are here? 8 observations,
8.
right? Can you see your text file? How many observations are there?
No, San Antonio is missing. Last.
9.
Yeah, 9. And the last one is missing. Why? Is because it has got a varying length. Right? We have said comma 9 dot. But here there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So how do we deal with varying length of a Informat statement? Is you don't specify 9 here, just give a dot, but precede this with a colon. After the variable, give a colon and then give comma dot. So that is a colon operator. So what is that used for? Is to read, used to read informats of varying length. So now let's run this, and if we want, we can give a format also. Format, let's say pop comma 9 dot. Let's run this code. So now you see we have 9 observations once we use the colon operator. Okay, so just try this code, please. So just there are 2 more files for us to read, that is test 9 and test 10. Just let me know once you're done trying this code.
No, you want us to try?
Yeah, just try it out. Yeah, good. Yeah. Sai, okay. In your
But
format, you don't give a space between comma and line.
uh,
Yeah. No. And this should be a semicolon at the end of it. Yeah. That should be fine. Yeah. Perfect. So the next file is pretty interesting. So this test9 file, can you tell me, first of all, how many variables and observations are there in this file? And what type of file is this? Take your time.
It is a delimited one. It has three observations and three variables, but the delimiter is enter, I think. I mean, the new line.
Okay,
No, entire
your part of your answer is right. So that is, there are three observations is right. 1, 2, and 3. Variables are how many?
four, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, 5 variables.
Oh,
So
okay.
first name, last name, department, ID, and salary. So there are
Mhm.
4 variables, right? I mean 5 variables. This part is right. So basically, one observation is split across multiple lines. One row of data is split across multiple lines, right? But and this is a fixed width file because there is a fixed width for everything. So this the first name is these many number of characters, right? The second name is like well find characters. The third variable is so many characters, right? It is a fixed width file.
Okay.
Okay, is it clear, Sai? So basically here one row of data is split across multiple lines.
Mhm.
So technically, let me just tell, this had to be like this,
Yeah.
you know, but this is how this looks. Yeah. So these are just 3 rows of data, but they're split across multiple lines. Right. So how do we read values like that? So reading uh, data which is where a row is split across multiple lines, right? And this is a Swift file. So let's see how the code looks like, right? So what is? Can you just count the length of each one for me? It's file 9. And file I reference the file name, right? And input. So in input we need to have uh, how many 5 variables? That's let's say first name, last name, and then we have department, and we have ID, right? And then we have salary with a numeric. Broadly, this is what is there, but now we have to put in the size of each one of them. So, what's the length of the first one?
9.
First one is 9. So, which method do you want to use? You can use either @pointer or your
Plus 1.
plus pointer, whichever you would wish to. So, let's say, or even the one, the thing where you say 1 to 8 and things like that, right? So let's say if we use it 1 to 8. So if you see here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So let's say the next one is space. So here it is 1 to 8, 1 hyphen 8, and the last name is 9 is a space, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So 10 to 15 is the next one, 10 to 15, right? But department again starts with 1, correct?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
department is starting with 1 again. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what's the maximum length? Publications, right? So this is the one maximum length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah? So let's say 1 to 12. And EMP ID is on the same line, which is starting from 15, 13, 14 are blank, 13, 14 are blank, 15, 16, 17, 18. 15 to 18. What is it? Let me count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it is 16 to 19. 16 to 19. Right? And salary is again the last line. So what's the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But you have to use the Informat here because it's got special characters. So the Informat for that is dollar. Let's say 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, $10. Okay. Okay, now let's try and read this. But technically it will not work because you can't have like 1 to 8, 10 to 15 just written like this. So what we do here is we use a slash operator. Wherever the line is splitting into the next row is splitting into the next line, you just use a forward slash like this. Okay? So just to make it clear, I can just split it across multiple lines. So we use a forward slash wherever the row is splitting into the next line. Okay, so this is one method. There are multiple methods of doing this. Is a forward slash operator to read line split across. So that's what we are doing here. So let's just try and read this. So ID, I think I didn't write it properly. ID, I think is 15, 19. Marketing, education, salaries. Let me just put it again. Okay, the reason is job ID is a character value. It is got a character. So this, yeah. So now we have ID written here, but we are just having two observations. Can you see we're not having the third observation? Let's see why is that happening. Because if you see here, the middle name is how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But here it is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, there's no 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is coming to the next line. So what we have to do here again? We have to use a pad option, right? We use pad, and now let's see. Yeah, so now we have all three observations. Correct. So this is one method of reading it. There's another method wherein you use a hash operator. It's also used for the same reason, but the way you write it here is you use the number lining for it. Like let's say you use hash 1, You can do this, and here you say #2, and here you say hash. This is also used for the same thing. Let's just run this. So this also read will equally well. Okay, these are the two different methods. One more way what you can do is you can write multiple input statements. You can write 3 different input statements. So that way also it will work. You can try it out. So this is about reading data where a row is split across multiple lines. So any doubts here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So let's open test 10, the last file that we are supposed to read. So can you tell me how many observations and variables are there in this file?
6 observation,
Two
9
variables.
observations,
No, 9 observations. Yeah.
3
9 observations. Good. So basically, there are only 2 variables, right? But multiple rows are put into the same line here. So this is the problem is the other way around, right? Let's say this is date and this is temperature, right? This day, this was the temperature. Similarly, this day, this was the temperature. So there are only 2 variables, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 observations. Got it?
Yes.
So actually this had to be like this, right? But we are having multiple rows of data in the same line, right? So how do we, what do we do in when we have a data set like this? So we can just assume this is a space delimited file, right? Because just one space between every value. But let's see how do we read that. So what is this? This is reading data where multiple rows are in the same line. So how do we do that? So let's just data text file 10 and file reference and the file name .txt, and then we have an input. So in our input we'll have only 2 variables. Let's say day and temperature. Okay. So first of all, day is a date value. So we'll have to give an Informat for that. That part is clear, right? So the name of the Informat wherein your values are like this. Let's open this. Where your values are like 0, 1, and your month is in a character value, APR, right? JAN, MAY types, and then last one year. The name for this type of Informat is date. Date and the length. Date, so here the length is 7. Date 7 dot. Right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Clear? Date 7 dot is the Informat. And temperature is the next variable. So this should be pretty fine. So since I'm having date value, I will have to use a format as well. Day, so I'm just using the same thing, date 7 dot, or I can use whichever I want. I want DBMS, I can use that also here in format. Because format is basically the way you want to see it. So it can be different from the way it is there in your Informat, right? So let's just read this, try and read this if this works. And you see it's just got 3 observations.
Yeah, the first one.
Only the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1st April, 4th April, and 7th April. But what about the rest of them? Right? So in order to read values like this, what we need to do is we use a double at the rate pointer at the end of this variable. So let's see, I'll explain what this double at the rate does. Let's see if this works first of all. Yeah, so now it's reading all of them. So now it's having all 9 observations, right? So what exactly does a double at the rate do? So double at the rate is used to read multiple rows in a line. Read data with multiple rows in a line, right? So what exactly it does is when it encounters double at the rate, so let's say we are here, we read the date part, and since we have not specified the type of delimiter, space is the delimiter, right? It will encounter the next value which it puts into the next variable. So this is temperature. Okay? And then technically what it does is since there are only two variables, it will move to the next value which is here. It will come to the next line. It will not read any of this. So by doing double at the rate, what we are saying is we are stopping the cursor from moving to the next line. We are forcing it to read the next set of values and put it into the respective variable. Okay, so that's how a double at the rate works. So these were some of the important different types of files that we generally use to import. Okay, but there are certain things. There's one important thing I'd like to explain. Correct. So when you have a text file which is like very large, right? You will not be able to see if there are any missing values in between or at the end, or if you should use if there are like if you have to use a pad option or something. What you will be given is the type of file it is, that is a delimited file or a fixed width file. Okay. In most cases, you'll be even given, like if it's a fixed width file, you'll be given the length also for the variables, right? But you will not know whether there are missing values or whether there are some discrepancy in the spacing, like when you're forced to use the pad option, right? So what you do is, generally what we do is, in any type of in-file code, we use all the possible options to mitigate all the errors, right? So if you're using in real time, when you're using, you will, if it's a DLM file, then you, no matter if there are missing values or not, you always use this. Like, if it's comma, then you use this, then you use MISSOVER. You use all possible options which will deal with the discrepancies. Okay, that's a rule of thumb. So if it's like a fixed width file, then you make sure you write pad option so that it deals with if there's a discrepancy in the data. Okay, so that was about in files. That was about reading different types of text files, and this is quite important from a certification point of view also. Okay, and what's important here in files are the different operators and options that we have used. So can you just summarize which are the options we have used so far in files? We have used MISSOVER,
MISSOVER, PAD, DLM, DSC.
DSC, DLM, PAD, right? These are the different options that we have used. Which are the different operators that we have used?
At the rate,
At,
slash, forward slash.
at the rate, forward slash, size. Which are the other operators we have used?
We have used and symbol.
Yeah, we have used ampersand, we have used colon, then we have used hyphen, right? 1 to 8. We have used hyphen, right? And we have used hash, we have used double at the rate, we have used plus pointer.
Where did we use the plus?
Plus is again initially, right? Fixed width, move plus one
Oh, okay,
position.
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah. So these are the different operators and options that we have used in files. So it's important to know where to use what and when. Okay, is this part clear?
Yeah.
So this was about reading different types of files and using different types of options using in files. Okay, so let's just take a 5-minute break and reconnect. Is that okay?
Okay.
In the meantime, team, you can just, if you want, you can try out these codes, but yeah, you can take a 5-minute break as well. Okay, alright, see you in 5 minutes.
Thank you for this. Who are you? Bye.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, hi Anusha. Hi, Sai. You're there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So let's continue. Okay, so that was about importing data sets and importing external files and text files using the Proc import that we did yesterday and in files that we have done today. Okay. So going ahead from here, let's just get out a little of the data sets and explore a little further more on Proc print. So as we have seen yesterday, Proc print is a very simple procedure. When you say Proc print, data equals to, let's say, the data set that we want to print. Let's say SAS cards, and you just say run. So this is a simple statement that we have seen yesterday, which will just give you a print view of the complete data set, right? So when I run this code, the result will be that all the observations and variables will be printed on my screen. This is the print view of the data, right? So you see there are 428 observations and about 15 variables, correct? So now there are a lot of things that you can do. There are a lot of other options which you can use in Proc Print in order to play around with your data. If you want to concentrate on certain specific variables and see what's happening there, or you want to take a print view of certain specific data, you can do that, right? So let's see the options that we can use in Proc Print, right? We can use a var statement, right? So what this var statement does, let me just show you. We say proc print, and after this I say var. So in my var statement, I can specify the variables that I want to print. So let's say, for instance, I don't want to get a print view of all the variables. I just want to take a view of variables like make, type, and origin. Right? So I can do that in my var statement. I write var and the put in the variable names. So make, type, and origin. So only these two variables I want to print. So you can do that in the var. So when I run this code now, you will see we print only the specified variables in the var statement. Right? So what a var statement does is selects only the variables mentioned in it and prints them. Right? So that's how we can use a var statement. So let's say if I ask you to write a code, print following variables from let's say cars data. Model, make, a type train, right? Let's say model, make, MSRP and invoice. Yeah, can you just try and write a code for this? It's always better to check how exactly the variable names are there in your data set. Otherwise, if there's a spelling mistake in the way you're writing the variable name, you get an error. Just write a code for this, please.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, let me see your code.
Yeah, sure. Code.
Yeah, Proc print, model, make, invoice, and MSRP. If you note, see the variables will be printed in the same order that you specify in your var statement. That is fine. That's perfectly fine. That's the right result. Okay. So the order also will be the same way in which the way you write it in your var statement. Right? Is it done? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So that's pretty simple, isn't it? So that's why we use a var statement. So that is to select specific variables, right? Let's say I want to select specific observations based on the number line. Like let's say I want to just select top 5 observations, the first 5 observations, or the last 5 observations, something like that. How do I do that? Proc print data equals dataset name, right? And done. Okay. And selecting. Hold on, let me just put it as printing specific observations based on the phone number, right? So how do we do that? Is we have an option called as first OBS and OBS, right? So I have to write in my proc print line within a bracket first OBS equals 1 and OBS equals 10. Yeah. So this will print only observation from the first observation to the 10th observation. So let's run this. Is that right? So we are having observation 1 to observation 10. Correct. So if I want to know how many number of observations are there, I can use an option called as n. So if I write n at the end of it, or even here if I write it's okay, this will give me the number of observations. So let me run this code. It's quite long. Oh, looks like my system got hung. Okay. So let's run it again. I might have to relog in. Okay, can you just try this code now that you can see it on my screen? Can you just try this at your end? Have you noted the code? Because I have to.
Yes.
Showing with n equals to 10.
Yeah, so it will show the number of observations. So since it's 10 observations, it's given n is equal to 10. Right.
This is the list we have given. We want total. What are the observations totally in cars, right?
Then you will have to use it without your first OBS and OBS.
Okay.
So when you use it without this option, then you will get the total, whatever is there in the data set. Okay. So let's say I'll just write a code here. If you can tell me how many observations will be here. So I can write n here as well. First OPS is equal to 10. OBS equals 15. So don't execute page. Logically tell me how many observations will be here.
5.
6.
6. So from where to where?
10 to
From
10 to
15.
10th observation to 15th observation. Okay. So remember, you will not have 15 observations. This is the row number. This is the observation number and not the number of observations. Okay. So let's just write a couple other combinations of this code. So what will it be when I write OBS is equal to 15? Just try these codes at your end and tell me what will it be if I just write first OBS is equal to 15, and what will it be if I write first OBS 15 and OBS equals 15? Last combination. What if I write 15 and OBS equals 10? Okay.
If it is
Then,
OBS 15, it displays from first to 15th one.
yes. So basically, by default, it will assume the first observation from first observation. Okay. So this is if you write just 115 here, then from first observation to 115th observation, it will print. Okay. So what will happen when you write only first OBS is equal to 15?
I
Starts
think
from
this,
15.
yeah.
Exactly. So it starts from 15 and it will go on till the end of file. So what is your n number of observations in this case? Can you run and tell me? So in the first one, rinse from observation number 1 to observation number 10. Yeah, so it will be totally 414. Right. So rinse from observation number 10 to observation number 15. Correct? Yeah. So here it prints from starting of the data set till 15th observation, right? Whereas here it prints from 15th observation to till end of the data set. Yeah. So now next one, when both the numbers are same, how many observations will be there?
1.
1.
Yeah, that's good. So basically it will print only the 15th observation. Can you please run this code? Yeah, is this done? Okay, the last one. Can you execute the last code and tell me what the result? What should be the result in this last case?
Error, I think.
Okay, try it out.
That's an error.
Shows an error.
What is the error?
No data to read from.
What's the error? So when I run this code, it gives me an error which says syntax error, symbol is not recognized. Here you will see. Yeah, so basically, why is there an error? Because your first OBS value cannot be greater than your OBS value. Right? So it can't read from 15th to 10th observation. Correct?
Yeah.
Error. First OBS value cannot be greater than OBS value. Correct? So this is how you select the observations based on the number line. Okay. So you can use this in tandem with your var statement also. So let's say I'll just ask you to do this. Print then of 20 observations with voice, name, and model. Can you write a code for this?
So I got an error.
Can you show me your code? Okay, there's an I before OBS. Yeah. Yeah, this is right. Yes, are you done?
I forgot the output.
Okay, great. Yeah, so now let's see if we can add a title to it. So when you write a code like this, let's say for a print view, it's pretty simple. You will write it as FPS equal to 20. Right, you can use first OBS equal to 1 as well. And you use your var statement, that is invoice, make, and model. Right? So you run this code, you will get the result. Oops, I have got an error. Yeah. So you have invoice, make, and model. So that only 20 observations, 1 to 20. Correct. So let's say we want to give a name to this report. So there is no name to this report, right? So let's say we want to give a title to the report. We can use a title statement. And say title, and in first write whatever is the title that you want to give to this report. First 20 observations of cars, right? Yeah, so just write this, whatever you want to do in the title, just write it and run this code. So now you will see you have a title also to this table. First 20 observations of cars. Correct? And in case you want to write a footnote, so sometimes what happens is there'll be some abbreviations here, like MSRP, in case they say, let's say here I have MSRP also. So you want to add a footnote to it, let's say footnote, yeah, and here you can write MSRP is the max. I'm just putting in something, retail price, something like this. So then it will appear in the footnote. So here at the end it will appear in small font. Can you see? Yeah. So that's how you can give a title and a footnote to your Proc print procedure. So using title and footnote for a descriptive report. So in case you want to take a print, literally take a print out of it for any of your reports or meetings, then you can do that using title and footnotes. Right? So there are a lot of other options also in Proc print. We will be seeing them as in how we move ahead in the class. Now, but before we close, we'll just see one more example. Let's see one more statement. So that is ID statement. So let's say I just have make an origin here. Okay, so even MSRP. MSRP, right? And let's say I have an ID statement. So ID is a statement here. Don't get confused with to be a variable name or something. ID is the statement, right? So here what I can do is I can give whatever variable that I want to make as an ID. So currently in my report, I'm getting the observation numbers, correct? See, this is not, observation numbers are not there in a data set. This is what a proc print is printing it, right? So in case I don't want to have the observation numbers, but I want to have some other variable which will act as an ID, then I use an ID statement. So let's say I want to make model as the ID, and I specify the variable name. So when I run this code, you will see that model has become the ID. Can you see?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's how you can use your ID statement, right? So in certain cases, if you don't want your observation number to be seen, so like in an earlier example, you can use an option called as no obs. So when you write no obs and I run it, you will see observation number will not be coming. Yeah, so these are these different options that you can use. Okay, so what your ID does is ID statement, the variable specified along with this statement is printed as the observation ID. Okay? And what does a no obs do? No obs option will omit the observation numbering in the okay? So you will see that there are a couple of other options also that you will be using. Different statements also will be using in software, but this will be as in how we move ahead in the class. Okay. So the thing to note here is with whatever we have done so far, see, these procedures and these data steps are important. Like these are the first things that you will do when you get into a project. Like let's say you are given a case study to solve also in the class here. Or let's say I'll tell you, okay, here is some data that is lying, okay, which is in CSV. Get started with it. Get started with understanding what this data is. So, what will be the first thing that you will do?
We will import it.
Exactly. So, the first thing that you will do is you will be importing, be it using Proc import or in files based on the type of file, right? So, first you will import. So, once you've imported it, what will be the next thing you will do? What would you like to do?
I would like to see what kind of data it has. So
Yeah, so which procedure you will use?
Proc print.
Yeah, so you can do a proc print of, to get an idea of how your data is. But if your data set is like really large, then it will not help much. So you might have to just see few observations and few variables to get an idea of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to know how many observations and variables are there, which is a part, it basically you have to understand what is the size of data that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So you will be doing a proc contents
Yes.
to get an idea of what's the size of data, how many observations are there, how many variables are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these procedures are the initial fundamental procedures that you will be using when you get started with working on like any kind of data,
Mm-hmm.
right? So importing the data set, and as soon as you import, the first thing which you do is you do a proc contents to get a hang of what are the variables and what are the observations,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then to get a view of it, to understand what type of values are there in them, you can just select top 10 or top 20 values and see what are the type of values that is there, right? Or top 50 to get a hang of it. So these are some of the basic and important procedures that we have seen. Is it clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. So let's close it for the day. I'll just leave you with a very simple question to solve. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see if there's any. Okay. Let's say import array.csv file uh, into user defined library called question one. This is the name of the library that you have to create. Okay. Uh, find the number of variables and observations in the imported file, and then also print first the last 50 observations of the data set. Okay, data set with appropriate title. Okay, so this is a question that I want you to solve for tomorrow's class. So from tomorrow we'll again continue further as to how do we manipulate data. So now we have seen how to import the data set. We have seen how to get an idea of what is there in your data set using proc prints and proc contents. Now what we'll be seeing next is how can we make certain basic changes into a data set. How can we create a copy of a data set.
Mm-hmm.
That we'll be doing in a tomorrow session. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, so see you tomorrow. Good night.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good
Bye
day.
bye. So, sorry, any questions or doubts in today's class? I'm so sorry, I forgot about that.
No, no, it's good today.
Yeah, I think see, basically you need to start like doing a little bit of practice. That's when you start getting your doubts. And the thing is, the more errors you get in your while you're coding now, that's the best way to learn. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you will try to understand where what is happening, where what's going wrong. So, is that okay, Sai?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, and feel to ask any of your doubts at any point in time.
Okay.
See you
Thank you.
tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay.
Good night.